After 3 years of living on the road full time and the constant barrage of decisions, I've come up with some systems and tricks that have helped me reduce that overwhelming feeling that we get from decision fatigue. Today, I want to share 5 of my systems that have helped me massively reduce decision fatigue and hopefully give you at least one new actionable tool that you can use next time you're in that analysis paralysis state. Every day, it feels like we're constantly bombarded with information and what feels like endless options. And so I think we kind of work like this funnel. Information comes in, our brain creates options, and then we make decisions based on those options. And so the underlying problem that we have here with decision fatigue is we have too many options to choose from, or at least we have too many perceived options. And so what's the solution? Conceptually, we need to reduce our perceived options and make taking action easier. So here are my 5 strategies for how I've reduced my options and made taking action easier, and how I've applied them each to their own system. My first system came from how I used to struggle with doing too much busy, shallow work and not intentionally making progress towards my goals. Honestly, I used to not know what my goals were, but that's a different topic. I would go to coffee shops on the weekends, open up my laptop, and basically say, okay, what should I work on now? And so what fixed this for me was to break it down into more actionable steps. I've been using this 12-week year system from the book, The 12-Week Year by Brian P. Moran. The core idea is basically, instead of setting yearly goals, to set 12-week year goals, which are much more manageable and can help you stay focused for those 12 weeks. I use Obsidian for basically everything in my life: ideas, journaling, plans, goals. And so the way that I've set this up is I did a journaling session reflecting on my 2024 and my long-term goals. And instead of creating a year-long goal note, I've created a 12-week year note with 12-week year goals that I want to accomplish in just this first 12 weeks. And then from that, every week, I create a weekly plan note, tasks that move me towards my 12-week year goals. And then every day, I create a daily plan note that works me towards my weekly plan goals and tasks. And so breaking it down has reduced my options from, oh, I have all of these goals and ideas and I don't know where to start, to these are the exact 3 things that I need to do today, and crossing those off will make progress towards my weekly plan note, which will make progress towards my 12-week year goals, which I know will make progress towards my long-term goals. So number 1, break it down. My second came as I started to lose motivation and consistency towards identity-based goals. I would want to make a change to my life, but I realized I wouldn't make any underlying change to my self-image. And so there's always this friction between taking action and my actual self-image. And that friction caused this self-doubt and overthinking and decision fatigue, paralysis state in the moment. I actually talked about this, my win stacking system, in my video about gamifying my social skills goals, which a lot of people resonated with. I'll link it somewhere. But what fixed this for me was to stack wins to silence self-doubt. I took the identity-based goal that I had and I turned it into, what action do I need to take in order to be that type of person? And then every time I took that action, I would write it down in my note, in my Obsidian, until I had this long list of evidence. So this has made the in the moment taking action easier because I've reduced that overthinking, decision fatigue, paralysis, because I have this evidence to lean on. I use this as my foundation of proof for my new self-image. And every example is like a memory stored in my brain that I can use, a success that I can use to boost my confidence and prove to myself that I am this new self-image. So number 2, stack wins to silence self-doubt. My third system came as I tried to start to make better YouTube videos intentionally. I think it was this combination between perfectionism and doing it all alone that was very overwhelming. I mean, it's hard to know what to do. And so what fixed this for me was to create a filter. Basically create a set of criteria for what you're looking for, document it, and then use that to filter the options. I've been working on building this software called VideoHawk to systematize my own YouTube process. I figured out what I wanted and then basically built it as a filter that would just show me the questions that people are asking, the topics that are resonating with people, and generate new video ideas that are personalized to my style, so I could just use that as a source of high quality inspiration. I also do this with finding coffee shops to work from. I have this particular Google Maps query, and then I always check the reviews for Wi-Fi keywords, and I always check the photos looking for seats and outlets. And so I've created these filters that have helped me reduce my options. So number 3, figure out exactly what criteria you're looking for and then use that as a filter. The 4th is kind of more of a mindset system that I learned 4 years ago as I was searching for passion and what I'm uniquely good at. I felt lost and directionless. I knew I wanted a different life, I just didn't know what. And I felt that decision fatigue, overwhelm of having too many options, and I didn't have the self-awareness yet to know what resonated with me. And so what fixed this for me was to take an imperfect action in any direction and then iterate on it later. What I ended up doing that helped was these 30-day experiments. I would just pick something that I'm curious about and just try it for 30 days. And then after those 30 days, then I would, self-reflect and think about what I liked and what I didn't like. But that experiment and self-reflection and trying things out, that built the foundation for some of these long-term habits that I have now, journaling, and that built the foundation for the 433 daily videos that I posted to YouTube. See, what I realized is that it's much easier to take your second step than it is your first. When you're starting from 0, you have to decide between infinite directions. But if you take a step in some direction, any direction, your decisions are suddenly reduced to, do I keep going or do I turn around? I find it's sometimes more useful to try something and learn that it's not for you than to continue analyzing without taking action. And so number 4, start with an imperfect action and then tell yourself you'll iterate on it later. And my last system came to address the constant barrage of everyday travel decisions. What restaurant to eat at, what meal to order, what hostel to stay in, coffee shops to work from. I will frequently be on Google Maps searching for food and be overwhelmed by the number of options. And so similar to number 3, filtering, what has fixed this for me was to document what has worked in the past. I don't always eat the same meals at the same places, but it's these moments of overwhelm when all of the small decisions have piled up, when I just revert back to what has worked in the past. Back in my van, I had this note for my go-to meals to make. And while I'm traveling, I have these travel guide notes on where to stay, what restaurants to eat at. And I keep this public Google map of all of the now 260 coffee shops that I've worked from around the world. My point being, just document what has worked. There are times when I explore and try new things, try new food, restaurants, but many times just daily life, I stick to what works because choosing between 3 meals or 3 restaurants is much easier than 50. So number 5, lean on what has worked in the past. To wrap up, remember that our goal here is to reduce our options and make taking action easier. These strategies and systems have helped me massively, and I hope they give you some ideas for how you can reduce decision fatigue the next time it comes up. Break it down, stack wins, create a filter, take action, then iterate, and use what worked in the past. I hope these help you. The links to the videos are in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.